This is KGW News at 11.
We begin at 11 with high tensions in Clark County after deputies shot and killed a black man yesterday. Crowds have gathered around the Vancouver area tonight, and you can see them from this live view from Sky 8. And it appears they're marching in the street right now.
This all follows a vigil for the victim earlier this evening. He's been identified as Kevin Peterson Jr. Hundreds turned out earlier tonight to pay their respects to the 21-year-old father. KGW's Mike Benner was there and brings us the latest on the investigation.
Kevin Peterson! Same thing! Kevin Peterson!
Friday night in Hazeldale, a crowd of hundreds packs the U.S. Bank parking lot to remember Kevin Peterson Jr. Clark County deputies shot and killed the 21-year-old Thursday evening.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
This woman did not know Kevin, but she hurts for him and his family. And she worries she or her loved ones will be next.
I'm scared my kids could be driving. I'm scared for my friends. I'm scared for everybody. I'm scared. It's scary being black in America.
What happened Thursday evening is still unclear. According to lead investigators, deputies and officers from the Regional Drug Task Force contacted Peterson during a narcotics investigation. We're told at some point he ran and flashed a gun, and officers backed off. Moments later, 3 deputies encountered Peterson again. They shot and killed him. Detectives said nothing about Peterson firing a gun, but Clark County Sheriff Chuck Atkins said this.
The man reportedly fired his weapon at the deputies. The deputies returned fire and the subject was tragically killed. It is my understanding that the man's firearm was observed at the scene.
That much was confirmed by investigators who say they found a pistol near Peterson's body.
While I have not spoken with the deputies involved in this matter, I am confident that they are upset at the unfortunate outcome of this encounter.
That doesn't begin to ease the pain of the hundreds of people who showed up at Friday night's vigil.
And we need justice, and we need our kids to be treated fairly. We need equity, and we need equality.
They also want accountability and transparency following the shooting death of a young father.
I used to be pro-police until I saw all the injustices going on. It's hurtful.
As the candlelight vigil was going on, just yards away, there was a rally for Black Lives, and across the street, there was a counter-protest. We did witness some skirmishes here and there, but eventually everyone went their separate ways. Reporting in Hazeldale, I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
In the pandemic, Oregon saw a second straight day of record new cases. The state reported 600 new cases today, beating yesterday's previous high of 575. Take a look at this graph. The dotted line on the chart there is the 2-week average for cases, which is now at its highest point in the pandemic.
And this comes as Governor Brown changes up the state's COVID metrics that could send 130,000 kids back to classrooms across the state. The old rules required counties to have no more than 10 coronavirus cases per 100,000 residents in a 3-week average to allow for in-person learning. Now it's loosened to 50 cases per 100,000 across 2 weeks instead of 3. And a second level allows for up to 100 cases per 100,000 to begin a mix of in-person and online classes.
One of the reasons why I think it's important that we unveil these metrics is to give Oregonians hope and encouragement, particularly our school kids. They need to see us doing the right thing. They need to see all Oregonians doing the right thing to bring our transmission rates down.
15 counties, if you look at the map here in the light blue, immediately qualify now to start in-person classes for K through 12. Another 9 counties in black on the map can start kindergarten through 6th grade. Multnomah, Washington, and Marion counties have 139, 112, and 177 cases per 100,000, respectively. That rules them out for any in-person learning. Clackamas, however, has 85 cases per 100,000 and can start to reopen for some kids. And that has some parents and kids excited in the country to get back to class.
But not everyone is on board with those new rules. Catherine Cook has the details.
So living in Clackamas County, we're pretty excited to get what feels like some good news today.
On Friday, Jennifer Dale learned that after months of learning from home, her youngest kids can soon go back to school in Lake Oswego. Clackamas County is elementary school eligible under the governor's new COVID-19 metrics for in-person learning. Jennifer's oldest daughter, Maddie, is in 7th grade. She'll have to wait until the county's numbers improve even more before going back.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited that my sister gets to go back to school, hoping that I get to go back to school because I want to meet my teachers because I haven't really met them at all.
Many of Oregon's smaller counties are at least elementary, if not high school eligible. But in Multnomah, Washington, and Marion counties, all children must continue learning from home.
We kind of have these hurdles that we know we're going to come across. And the first big one was changing the metrics, kind of the first step in the right direction.
Shalise Olson lives in Salem and has 4 kids. She and other parents have spent countless hours advocating for reopening schools and, at the very least, adjusting the metrics.
With the previous metrics, that there was no way that any of us were going to be in school anytime this year and probably not next year, to be honest.
Portland Public Schools have a long way to go for in-person learning to resume, but parents like Renee Gonzalez are encouraged.
It's disappointing that it's taken this long to focus on children and education in this context, but that was progress.
Renee's daughters are missing their freshman year, and his 3rd grade son has a lot of pent-up energy. He worries about the unmet needs of every child and family under these conditions.
It's just so important for their development, their social and emotional needs, and for parents to be able to work in a focused way.
Contrary to what many parents feel, the state's teachers union criticized the governor's move to relax the metrics. In a statement, they wrote in part, "The governor's decision to hastily implement new, relaxed metrics will only serve to further disrupt education for students, families, and educators." To create a safe environment for everyone, Gonzalez wants to see health officials step up to meet the need.
Our state needs to figure out how to test more and improve our contact tracing. I wish we would have solved that 4 months ago, but I think we can do it and protect our teachers.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
We have a traffic alert for you tonight. There has been a deadly crash on Southeast Powell Boulevard that has the road blocked off right now. Powell is closed between Southeast 143rd and 148th Avenues. Police have not said yet exactly what happened other than someone did die.
Now to Decision 2020. From urban to rural Oregon, voters are sending in their ballots early, and the state is on track right now for record turnout. Because Oregon State and the University of Oregon classes are mostly online this semester, many students chose not to return to campus, and that could play a role in the race for Oregon's 4th congressional district. Decades-long incumbent Peter DeFazio, a Democrat, faces Republican challenger Alex Skarlatos. Democrats can typically count on support from college students in their districts. OSU professor Chris McKnight-Nichols anticipates DeFazio winning, but says the race could be tight in this divided district.
And if it's really close, how will the fact that we don't have as many students in the area factor in? How will that there's been some out-migration from our area, or people maybe have re-registered elsewhere in the state of Oregon or not registered here in the 4th district? It seems like that is unlikely to have a bearing on the election, but if it's really close, it just might.
Fewer students in town doesn't appear to be impacting voter turnout overall. Lane County, where U of O sits, already has 62% voter turnout, and as of last night, 68% of voters in Benton County, home of OSU, had turned in their ballots.
And with just a few days before Election Day, we continue to answer your voting-related questions. Kristen Severance is here to verify if you can drop off your ballot at any library book drop.
We got so many emails about this, so we set out to verify. Can you drop your ballot in a library book drop-off? So not an official drop box located in front of or near the library, but the book return drop-off, the slot where you return your books. Counties could designate their library book drop-off as an official ballot drop-off site this year, but out of the 14 counties in Oregon and Washington that we called, only one did. So let's show you the list here. Clackamas County, they're in the no column. Multnomah County is a yes. You can drop your ballot into a library book drop-off site. Washington County, no. Yamhill County, Lynn, we also reached out to Marion and Polk County, they were no's. We also reached out to a few more counties, Hood River in the no column, Columbia, Clatsop, Lincoln, and Tillamook, they were all no's. We reached out to 2 more counties in Washington, Cowlitz and Clark County, both no's. Again, many of these places have official ballot drop boxes in front of the libraries or near the libraries. Definitely use those. And in Multnomah County, you can put your ballot in the actual book return slot, but only in Multnomah County. The elections office said this change came about to expand access to voting during COVID-19. Do you have something you want us to verify? Let us know. Email us at verify@kgw.com.
We'll have extensive election coverage for you on Tuesday night. Here is a rundown of our programming that night. NBC News coverage starts at 4 p.m. We'll also bring you updates on local election results every 30 minutes. Plus, from 7:30 to 9:30, we'll have continuous local election coverage on KGW's sub-channel, the True Crime Network, as well as streaming on kgw.com, our app, YouTube, and all the KGW social pages. Then join us right here at 11 o'clock for local news and up-to-the-minute election results.
It's going to be an interesting night. All right, coming up, a lot of businesses are struggling, of course, in the pandemic, but one industry is booming in an uncertain 2020.
And a concerning admission from the city about the danger some of its most vulnerable people may face heading into winter in Portland.